And so we started back, and we have an addition to our interview. Who is this lovely lady?
This is Isabella Salazar. This is the youngest of the bunch.
Okay, all right. So you were, and I've tried to remember what I was asking, just about this next section of questions is about wartime service, but you're not on the front lines. You're here, kind of experiencing it from sending troops out.
Right.
Is what I'm hearing. So, again, this is asking, where did you serve? You're at
My stateside. I was at Fort Bragg.
Fort Bragg.
And I was mobilized at Fort Bragg.
And then, kind of, what are you seeing as people processing these thousands and leaving in these? Tell us what that looks like.
A lot of fear. A lot of fear. Fear of the unknown. A lot of soldiers were heading over and they've never experienced war. So they didn't know what to expect. And a lot of them, their thoughts were, I just want to make it back home safely to my family. During that time, you had a lot of soldiers who were enlisting for the Montgomery GI Bill. So a lot of soldiers were young and they were in college, and a lot of us didn't see this happening. So it was a different feel for many soldiers who were deploying, because they didn't really enlist to become a soldier per se. They enlisted to better themselves and have an opportunity to go to college.
Right. Did you witness any casualties? So people are going out, but you're not seeing injured soldiers coming back.
No.
This is just sending.
It's just sending, and then when they were completed with their time, because a lot of times they were only there a year, and because my tour was for 2 years, we brought them back and processed them back out. I'm glad that, in hindsight, I did not deploy. There's parts of me that feel like if I deployed, I'd have the full experience of being a soldier. But I'm happy that I did not deploy. Because in the line of work that I do now, I'm able to talk to soldiers and not have triggers because I didn't deploy.
Right.
And that helps. But a lot of those soldiers who were coming back, and I remember some that we sent off, they came back and they were different. Their experiences made them different. And I remember a lot of soldiers who came in and did a year in Iraq. In Afghanistan. And they came back and they were somebody completely different than when they left initially. And that's tough. Especially the ones that were the same age as me. They've seen war and atrocity, and their quality of life changed greatly because of it.
Did you develop any friendships, have camaraderies while you were
Lots of them. A few of my closest friends now actually served with me while at Fort Bragg. While I was at Fort Bragg, I had my oldest daughter. And because we were all mobilized, we became a family. And so a lot of the female soldiers that were around the same age as I was, they were like my daughter's aunts, because they watched her when I had to work, or they watched her when I just needed to just decompress. And they're still quite active in our lives. And I'm blessed for Facebook, because for the ones that, they've continued to stay in the military and have toured in other places, we still connect through the internet. So thank God for technology.
Right, has helped you stay in
Absolutely.
Stay in touch. And then how did you stay in touch with family, or family stay in touch with you while this was going on?
To be honest, When I was stationed at Fort Bragg, I mean, we had cell phones and we had phones, so that was, of course, the easiest way we stayed in contact. But because I was so busy, oftentimes, my family would hear from me maybe once a month because I was on the go nonstop. And I know that was difficult for them because I was the youngest and they were used to talking to me quite often. And that was a huge shift. Can we pause that for a second?